This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
She says it was creepy and unwanted. A state lawmaker's riveting testimony on the first day of the hearing that could put Indiana's attorney general out of work. What she said and what Hill's attorneys are countering with just ahead on the News at Noon. But first, we want to get to your forecast. It is a Storm Team 6 alert day. The rain has been coming down for the last few hours across central Indiana. And meteorologist Todd Clausen is here to let us know how long all of that is going to last. Todd, I understand some folks have heard thunder, seen lightning, and some flights are even being delayed because of this.
Yeah, most definitely. There was a lot of lightning around earlier, not so much in Indianapolis, but down to the south. As far as the rain goes from this point forward, this, what you see on the eastern side of the state, kind of the last hurrah of the steady rainfall. But notice the lightning strikes still in Connorsville, over towards Richmond, down towards Brookville. Some heavy rain still in Portland. As you work your way from Muncie westward, though, through Marion, Tipton, and Kokomo, the rain is very, very light. But then there's some heavier downpours here from Greencastle over towards Danville. So we are not done with the rainfall yet, but we're done with what we'll call the most steady part of this storm system. The cold front itself is still off to our west here, and as that comes through and approaches, we'll kind of transition from this steady rainfall to more in the way of scattered showers off and on throughout the remainder of the afternoon, which you can see here. However, once we get towards the evening commute, as the actual front goes through, there will be another quick burst of rain. Also, some very gusty winds will be accompanied as that front goes through. So there will be the chance still maybe an isolated thunderstorm warning for some really gusty winds. In general, though, it will be a pretty breezy afternoon. Some of the wind gusts already up to 40 miles per hour in Lafayette, 32 in Terre Haute. Expect these to increase. So while the steady rain is ending, still some spotty showers and very gusty winds for the afternoon. More on the rest of the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. The first witness called today in the disciplinary hearing of Attorney General Curtis Hill, the state lawmaker who accused him of grabbing her inappropriately at a bar last year. This is the hearing that could result in Hill losing his law license, which would disqualify him from the office he was elected to in 2016. Our Alyssa Donovan has been following the hearing all day. Alyssa, emotional testimony this morning, and that was followed by some intense cross-examination.
Yes, Meredith, this is a professional misconduct hearing, but it almost has the feel of a trial happening inside the state Supreme Court hearing room at the State House. The charges were brought by the court's disciplinary commission. They say Hill committed professional misconduct by committing misdemeanor battery against 4 women and felony sexual battery against one of those women. Cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, but our political reporter Matt McKinney is reporting on the testimony of one of those women, State Representative Mara Candelaria Reardon. The lawmaker says she was at a party in May of 2018 that happened just after the legislature adjourned. She says she was wearing an open back dress when Hill approached her from behind, placing his hand on her back, then ran his hand down to where it briefly touched her buttocks. Reardon testified that Hill made comments about her skin as he touched her. She says she was planning to confront Hill one-on-one until she found out that 3 other women said that Hill also touched them inappropriately. An attorney for Hill tried to expose what he claims are inconsistencies in the lawmaker's story. And the attorney also asked Reardon to describe specifics about the dress she wore the night of the party. This hearing is expected to last all week. Afterward, retired Supreme Court Justice Myra Selby will make a recommendation on whether Hill should face discipline. The final decision will be up to the state Supreme Court.
They sought us out. We did not contact them. They gave us very little information on Natalia, and they told us you've got 24 hours to make a decision on if you want to adopt this special needs person. You got 24 hours. We're not giving you any information. It's a closed adoption.
If prosecutors get their way, you won't be seeing any more interviews with the couple charged with abandoning a child in Tippecanoe County. Today, the state asked a judge to place a gag order on Michael and Christine Barnett. Prosecutors also want to limit information on the case being shared with news reporters. The Barnetts are accused of abandoning their adopted daughter at an apartment in Lafayette. The couple claims the girl is actually an adult from the Ukraine and that they were the victims of an adoption scam. A judge is scheduled to hold a hearing on the gag order request this Wednesday. New this midday, Columbus police are looking for a suspect after a hit-and-run crash that left a bicyclist dead. This happened around 11:15 last night in this area near 11th and Chestnut Streets. That's where police found 21-year-old Kyla Ortlieb dead. Officers say a GMC Jimmy was found abandoned about a block from the crash site in the middle of another street. Right now, Columbus police do not have a description of a possible suspect, but if you have any information on this case, you are asked to call the Columbus police at the number on your screen, 812-376-2600. On the east side of Indianapolis, police are still investigating a crash that left one person dead and another in critical condition. This happened around 3 this morning at 10th Street and Arlington Avenue. Metro police tell us an officer spotted a vehicle speeding down Arlington Avenue. A short time later, that vehicle slammed into another vehicle at the intersection. The driver of the speeding car is in critical condition this morning, while the driver of the vehicle that was hit was killed. That person's identity has not yet been released. A Fishers contractor is facing new charges for allegedly stealing a homeowner's credit card and racking up hundreds of dollars in charges. An arrest warrant has been issued for Christopher Salvo for theft. Court records show Salvo took a homeowner's credit card while doing odd jobs, then later used it to spend more than $250 at a Noblesville CVS. Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies say surveillance video from the CVS appeared to be Salvo. RTV6 has been unable to reach Salvo for comment. We told you back in September that he is facing home improvement fraud charges in a separate case. As early voting continues, the next chance voters will get to hear directly from the candidates for mayor of Indianapolis is happening tonight. Democratic Mayor Joe Hogsett faces off against Republican challenger Jim Merritt, with tonight's debate focused on issues impacting African Americans. It starts at 6:30 tonight at Arsenal Technical High School and is sponsored by the African American Coalition of Indianapolis. The postcard says you have money or other property that needs to be claimed, but it is just a way for someone else to steal the money that you already have. We'll show you how to protect yourself coming up. And he thought it would be a brief brush with a celebrity, but little did he know that celebrity would send him a big gift, all because of something she saw in a selfie. Oh, this is a good one. Todd.
And Meredith says, make your way out the door this afternoon. It's going to be wet and it's going to be very windy. The first batch of rain is moving out of the area, but there's plenty more to come as the winds pick up as well. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
Tonight on ABC.
It's time now for another RTV6 Consumer Alert. I'm joined by the Better Business Bureau's Tim Maniscalco. And Tim, if you get a postcard in the mail that says you have unclaimed money, great, it's your lucky day. But the bad news is it's probably a hoax.
Right. We're seeing this a lot. A lot of these hoaxes have been reported on our scam tracker. And you're right. What happens is you're getting a postcard, or sometimes it's even an email or some sort of social media that say you have unclaimed money. And there actually is some unclaimed money, like when you have a checking account or a savings account, if it hasn't been active for a long period of time, there are some unclaimed money, but there isn't a kind of a central sort of place where you can go to find out about unclaimed money. So what happens here is you're going to get this postcard, and then there's going to be a number for you to call. They're going to ask you a lot of information about yourself because they say we've got to confirm your identity. So you're going to start giving them information about who you are. They may even ask about, let me have your driver's license number so we can check you out. And then there's always going to be some little fee that you've got to pay in order to claim this money. So you're going to give them then your credit card because you want your free $100 or $500 or whatever it might be. Well, once again, this is just a hoax to get your information, to get your credit card information, and to really try to steal your identity. So be very, very careful if you get a postcard like this in the mail, something like that. The banks and people like that, they don't go around soliciting saying, hey, you've got money that hasn't been claimed. This is just, once again, a way for them to get a little bit of money out of you and try to steal your identity, get your information.
All right, Tim, a great warning today. Thank you so much. This has been another RTV6 Consumer Alert. Fall tornado season can be devastating, and today thousands in Texas are finding that out firsthand. Coming up, the trail of destruction left behind by several tornadoes. And this is a live look in Greencastle right now on the campus of DePauw. Those clouds hovering over the city there. Our meteorologist Todd Clausen will let us know when exactly we'll get a break from all this rain, coming up on the news at noon on RTV6.
And we have more work to do.
We are just over 3 months from the Iowa caucuses, and a new poll could be good news for South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. A new poll of who people are likely to vote in the Iowa caucuses shows that the South Bend mayor appears to have gotten a boost from the last Democratic debate. The poll shows that Buttigieg is in third place among the Democratic candidates with the support of 13% of Iowa voters. He trails Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, but he is now ahead of Bernie Sanders. There is still room for movement. 29% of respondents to this poll say they are still undecided. The Trump administration is standing behind the ceasefire brokered by Vice President Mike Pence between Syrian Kurdish forces and Turkey. There were multiple reports of sporadic fire from Turkish forces over the weekend. As ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi tells us, Kurds in the region have been taking out their anger on U.S. service members.
Reports of clashes between the Turkish and Kurds threatening a fragile ceasefire.
We have 35 hours left. If they don't withdraw, our operation will restart.
On Thursday, Vice President Mike Pence announcing Washington and Ankara had reached the 5-day arrangement where Turkey would pause its military operation to allow the Kurds to withdraw from a key border town along the Syrian-Turkish border. But over the weekend, there were reports of gunfire in the area. On the ground, the Kurds remain furious about Trump's withdrawal of U.S. troops from northern Syria. Some hurling potatoes as the military moves out, many feeling abandoned and worrying about ethnic cleansing at the hands of the Turks. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who led the delegation to Turkey alongside Pence, defended the deal on Sunday.
We were very clear, and the vice president could not have been more clear when we were speaking with President Erdogan in that Turkish-controlled space, that there wouldn't be attacks on minorities, that this was about getting a ceasefire, a secure area, and that this, in fact, will save lives.
And today, the Secretary of Defense confirms the administration is considering leaving a small number of U.S. troops in eastern Syria to protect U.S. interests and combat the Islamic State.
My job, the military's job, is to prepare options and then present them to the president and let him decide.
With the deepening crisis in Syria, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi led a bipartisan congressional delegation to the Middle East. She says the group met with key allies to discuss regional stability and the opening provided to ISIS, Iran, and Russia. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
Today, Texas and other parts of the South are reeling from catastrophic damage caused by a trail of tornadoes. More than 100 damaging storms were reported. In northwest Arkansas, one person died when a tree fell on a house northwest of Little Rock. Meanwhile, in Dallas, forecasters say one of the tornadoes that hit the region hit near Love Field Airport. The Storm Prediction Center says Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee could all see severe thunderstorms today. And here at home, this is a live look at downtown, a view to the north. And Tom, this is what a lot of people are seeing right now, that cloud cover, that rainfall, and it's having an impact pretty much over the entire region.
Yeah, you know, we needed the rainfall, and so we've gotten quite a bit this morning. It was pretty steady and pretty heavy throughout the morning hours. And it's going to continue here this afternoon on more of a scattered basis. We're not going to see that solid batch of rain move through. And I'll show you on radar in just a second. But while the steady rain comes to an end, the winds are going to continue to pick up throughout the afternoon hours. And there is a small threat that there could be an isolated severe warning as we work our way throughout the course of the afternoon and evening hours when the actual front passes. Most likely, if we did see a warning, it would be a thunderstorm warning, but can't completely rule out the chance of maybe a quick spin-up isolated tornado if things play out. Again, that's pretty small on the spectrum of the threat level, but nonetheless, it's not completely zero here throughout the afternoon hours. Here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar, and here's the heaviest of the rain and still a little bit of lightning. We had a lot of lightning this morning as the storms went through. Richmond back towards East Germantown, down towards Connorsville. Some pretty good rain extends up into portions of the Winchester area and into Portland, Indiana. And then as we work our way westward, Marion, Kokomo to Peru to Logansport, down towards Tipton, just dealing with some light, steady rain. And then there's also a heavier batch of rain right now from Danville down through Spencer and into the Bloomington area. And down to the south, you saw a lot of lightning when that first line of rain went through. So this continues to lift off towards the north and to the east, and that will be the end of the steady rainfall. However, the cold front itself is still well back off to our west, and as that starts to make its way eastward, we're going to continue to have these scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms off and on throughout the remainder of the afternoon, and the wind speeds are going to continue to pick up. So here we are at 4 o'clock. We're dealing with these isolated showers and storms. Here is the line that kind of forms as it starts to make its way eastward. This is the actual cold front, and as this comes through, that's the best bet for maybe getting some winds up to 60 miles per hour and maybe seeing just a quick little spin up of an isolated tornado. Again, pretty small on the threat level, and then this front moves through by 8 o'clock, and at that point, we are done with the rainfall. Wind gusts right now, not terrible in Indy, but look at this. Sign of things to come. 32 miles per hour in Terre Haute, 41 miles per hour in Lafayette, and wind gusts throughout the remainder of the day are going to stay in the same ballpark they are now for most of us throughout much of the afternoon, and then they'll slowly start to diminish, working our way into the evening hours. So it's going to be very breezy. That is not going to change with these showers that'll continue off and on. Temperatures right now are in the 50s and 60s. They'll go up another couple degrees here into the low to mid 60s, maybe a 70-degree reading here or there, but we're not going to see a lot of warmth. Now tomorrow, completely new air masses in place. It's a cooler day for us with skies that'll be partly to mostly cloudy, and tomorrow's just one of those days, once we get those northwesterly winds in here, that it's just going to be really, really tough to warm the temperatures up. So we're talking upper 40s here tomorrow morning, and then only getting up to right around 55 to 57 degrees for your afternoon high. So temperatures tomorrow will not moderate much at all. Once we get to Wednesday, it's by far the best day of the week weather-wise, with mostly sunny skies, 64 degrees, and then some spotty showers will be possible on Thursday and Friday as we transition back into some cooler temperatures by Friday and Saturday. But still, even though the steady rain is pretty much done for the day, it's still going to be dreary. It's still going to be very windy with more scattered showers moving through at times.
All right, Todd, good to know. Thank you. Still ahead on the news at noon, we've got plenty more news and weather coming up. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back.
TV bundle.
This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady is defending his cameo in a new Netflix series. He appeared in the dark comedy Living with Yourself that was just released on Friday. In a scene, Brady walks out of a spa located in a strip mall and has a short conversation with the main character played by Paul Rudd. Some say the scene is a dig at Patriots team owner Robert Kraft, who was charged with soliciting prostitution at a day spa in February. Brady told reporters that it had nothing to do with Kraft and the script was written 4 years ago. Leave it to Oprah to make someone's day. 2 weeks ago, Oprah Winfrey was in Atlanta, Georgia, leaving a $13 million scholarship fund for Morehouse College. As she was leaving, a freshman at the school happened to run into her in the limo carrying her and got a selfie that would eventually land him a very big gift.
Hey, Oprah.
Hey, that's me. That's me and your cracked phone.
Oprah having some fun at the expense of Morehouse student Olufemi Yesoyufu. Well, less than 2 weeks later, he got a pretty big surprise package in the mail from Oprah herself. Yes, it was a new iPhone along with a note on Winfrey's stationery. The note read, "We can't have you out here viewing the world through a cracked screen or a cracked cover. The new camera you're gonna love for sure." To be sure, it probably doesn't hurt that Oprah has a promotional deal with Apple right now, but when you're a college student with a cracked phone screen, you probably don't care. Hey, I'd be happy just to get a note from Oprah.
Just the stationery.
Oh, my goodness, that enough, yeah.
All right, rain's moving through the area. The steady rain has come to an end, and most of the thunderstorms for now will continue to see scattered showers off and on throughout the remainder of the afternoon, but the cold front is still off to our west, and as that gets closer, the winds will continue to pick up. Look for gusts over 40 miles an hour here this afternoon in spots, and then the front will come through around 6 p.m. with another burst of rain. Then tomorrow's much cooler day with highs only in the upper 50s.
All right, Ton, we do know those storms delaying some flights out of Indianapolis International Airport, so if you're heading out this afternoon, make sure you check. Thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. Have a great afternoon.